It is not the end if you're failing, brother. It is not the end if you're failing at something. The end is when you're giving up on that thing. It is not ending with you fucking up with your business, with your relationships, with Nofap, with working out, with your maybe trying to run the marathon. Who knows what your endeavor might be. The end is not when you're failing, brother. The end is not that. Those are only opportunities for us to learn. But since we've been brought up in this, all this context of, hey man, like, it is super bad if you're fucking up. It is not okay to fail, and so on and so forth. And this is, brother, how empirical knowledge is built. By the way, though, this is how empirical knowledge is built. We are testing, we do have a theory, we are testing the theory, we're fucking up. Okay, theory is not good, next one. So on and so forth. The more sound of a theory for ourselves we can find, the more we are able to rely on that thing. And so, for example, if I'm oversleeping, or so, for example, if I'm sleeping, if I'm undersleeping, it is better than oversleeping. And so, suppose that 10 out of 10 times you're undersleeping, and you're quite okay. And if you're oversleeping, you're not okay, then it means that the theory is quite sound. So on and so forth. But you can get this. The point that what I would like to bring up over here is that it is okay to fail. And the problem is not with failing. The problem is with giving up. The problem is with saying that, hey man, I will not have another trial. And so if we are putting ourselves into that place that we are telling to ourselves that, hey man, it wasn't up, I'm giving up. That's the end. That's the end. You can fail a fucking 1,000 times if you're waking up for the 1,001st time and saying, man, like, I don't give a shit, I'll be giving it another trial. You can't fail for fucking 20 years with your thing. Whatever, you might want to become a musician or whatever. You might be failing throughout your 20s, throughout your 30s, and all of a sudden in your 40s you will get like this. Because you just simply do not let the shit bring you, take you. And so this is why I'm preaching consistency, brothers, because we just simply have to teach to our minds and teach to ourselves how we can just become stronger and become tougher in those regards. Because yes, when you're down on the fucking floor, it is the fucking hardest to wake up. If you're, like a bit shaky, you haven't been fallen off yet, then it's considerably easier to stay on the ground. But if you're out, if you've been knocked out in the snow, in the fucking 30 centimeters of snow, and you have to wake up, you're freezing, that's the hardest place to wake up from. And so this is why we're supposed to be training our minds, that we simply supposed to be getting up all the time. And so one good rule, one good theory for me that is working is that never allowing me to touch the ground completely. It's like somehow or if I'm touching the ground, or if I'm just getting so fucking low that I'm touching the ground, it's like getting back up as soon as possible. It's like the more you're standing down, the more this thing will be taking you over. This feeling that, man, like, I don't want to do this thing, I'm giving up. So this is basically one theory that is working for us. Like, if I'm trying to not getting knocked out, and if I'm getting knocked out, it's like getting back as soon as possible. Getting back as soon as possible. And so let me tell you my personal example. So currently I'm running a business. One of you were asking that what am I doing for a living? Basically I'm running a business which is a mixture of a general contracting business and a drop servicing business. So basically I do not do the fulfillment. I'm doing the acquisition side of the business completely, which means that I'm generating the leads and I'm selling the leads and I'm getting the cash, but I'm not doing the actual thing of the job. I'm not going out there with the hammer and doing the shit. I'm the marketer and the salesperson. And so I'm doing it kind of a freelancer, / entrepreneur style. And so basically my dream I got two dreams regarding to business. The very first one back then to build up a dropshipping store, but unfortunately in the 2020 buzz I got lost my ad account and in 2021 I lost my brother's ad account too, and back then I thought that I knew everything about advertising, but I knew jack shit about that. And so I thought that the only opportunity to do that is with Facebook ads and so on and so forth. Fast forward to today, I started an agency, then that was all good, and then I leaned back in, leaned inside the industry, so therefore I can figure out how the leads go and how the lingo go and all that shit, you know, just understand contractors, who was my target audience, how to sell to them. And so it's like, okay, and now that I'm figuring out the whole process, I'll be switching the whole thing, and I'll be covering the US with my service. I will have 100 clients, 200 clients, so on and so forth. And so I'm still on this journey, but quite recently I made a huge fuck up. And so the huge fuck up was basically there was some rules, some policy changes in my, some law changes, and more precisely in my own country's taxation. And so basically I fucked up with a huge amount, and I went to the accountant too late with this shit. And so I was like, man, like, now I owe a lot of fucking money to the government, and above that I was like, man, I've been fucking up 5 jobs consecutively, and I was like, man, like, I'm very fucking bad with the cash over here. And since now I'm in this cash flow issue, I was like considering all of these opportunities, like, what can I do? It's like, the very first thing is that jump into something and try to figure out, you know, like another business. And I was like, man, wrong, like that's not the good solution. It's like, you have something that works already, was unfortunate, but works. You shouldn't supposed to be jumping to another thing, because you do, for being honest, you know jack shit about that business. Like, doesn't make any sense. You can make the switch when you're grounded, but now you're not grounded. You have to go for the safest option. Okay, next option. What should I supposed to do? Okay, get a job. Okay, but bro, like, getting a job is good, and you will start learning, and all of your social needs, not all, but perhaps a considerable amount of your social needs would be all met. But I was like, man, like, okay, like, I'm not doing that thing. It's like, man, like, that would be in my soul when I was writing. I eventually wrote my CV, and I was struggling how to mention this shit of, you know, me being an entrepreneur. It's like, that's not a good point on a job interview. You've been an entrepreneur. It's like, no, it's like a fucking huge no. Never mind. The point over here is that when I was writing the CV, I had this bad gut feeling that, man, like, I'm settling down. Like, really, like, that was it. That was it. You're getting a job. You've been resisting this shit all your life because you wanted to pursue this entrepreneurial journey, and now you're getting a job. Like, what the fucking hell is happening over here, brother? And so I just wanted to call up this actual mindset that we do have about ourselves, that when we are on the ground, we just simply forget to see ourselves how we really are. And I'm just simply forgetting. I was like forgetting about all of my skills. Like, bro, like, look at your fucking self. Like, you know how to sell. You exactly know how to cold call. You exactly know how to close. You've been fucking around so fucking much with contracts, both with business owners, both with residentials, that, like, you know, you've been bringing up project words in dollar, yeah, 5 figures. It's not big of a deal, but it's like deals, you know, it's like something. And I was like, man, like, okay, also, you know how to generate leads, both for you just basically know how to generate leads, both with Facebook ads, both with Google ads. You know how the shit works. And most importantly, you have an industry understanding of how to sell those leads exactly. Your problem, brother, is that you have a fucking belief problem. You just simply, and you also know the exact route to how to get there, how to build up the agency now. But now that you are 20 centimeters from the fucking gold, you're trying to give up. It's like, man, like, this is not the proper path. And so I just wanted to call out this mindset that we do have around these things when we are on the ground, and we just simply got the tendency to think that we are weak, and we do not have a way out, and something is, you know, not working, and so on and so forth. And so I'm telling you, brother, that this shit, this is the thing that is the worst. Telling to ourselves that we just simply cannot do that shit. We are done when we are quitting. And so I was like, man, like at that moment when I was writing my CV, I felt super. I felt, I wouldn't say fatigue, but that was burning out, man. Because I was like, man, like my dreams are done. Because if I start working at a job now, that it means that I will, for me being able to get back on track, it means that a lot of fucking time, because from that point on I have to save up. And since I basically didn't finish up university because I was straight, entrepreneurship, I was dropping out. And I was like, man, like you have to save up, you will have to do this shit and that shit, and after that you will have to, well, it's like I'd be wasting at least 1 year of my life. And it's like, man, and not necessarily waste, but walking on a path that is not mine. And I was like, man, like, you cannot give in. You cannot give in. There must be a fucking way for you to be able to go through this shit. And this is a challenge. This is a part of a journey. As you as an entrepreneur, figure out this cash flow issue. Because, yeah, maybe if you're not able to figure out this cash flow issue, then maybe you're not worth it to be an entrepreneur. Maybe. And so, this is a mindset that I wanted to call out. It is the actual moment when we are giving up, when we are done. It is not when we are failing. I've been failing, but if I'm choosing to get back on track, then I'll be still with my dreams. I didn't let them go. If I'm choosing to let them go and just give in, then that's it. And for me, that is a job. And so, brothers and sisters, I will do everything in order for me to be able to pursue my initial path to build up that fucking agency. And this channel is not about business, but I would like to give some updates here and there regarding to this journey. But most importantly, I needed to share this with you because this is a mindset shift that I just needed to experience right now. It's something that I just needed to learn. And this is why these are the days, these are the times when I've been working for it, and I've been working out for it, and I've been training my mind that, man, when you got these days, it's like this was the shit that you've been training for. You cannot give in. You have to go through them. This is the thing. So all of my love, brothers, don't you ever dare fucking giving up, man. Obviously change courses of action and consider and reconsider. But never give up. Love.